Muchachos, ¿cómo están? Habla Víctor Bugarín. Aquí estoy con el gran creador Mike Mitchell de Fowl. Mike, where are you from?
Well, originally I was born in South Dakota, and then I moved to California, and I lived in California most of my life, and then the last 4 years I've moved to Jalisco, California, or Jalisco, Mexico.
Dice el señor Dandy que nació en South Dakota, de ahí se fue a California y ya está aquí en Jalisco. What part of Jalisco are you from? You're at now?
We're down by Cedar Guzman in southern, I guess it'd be southern Jalisco, next down by Colima.
Que está entre Colima y Ciudad Guzmán. How long have you been in the rooster business?
I've only been in the roosters like 20 years. I'm kind of a beginner, really. You know?
How'd you get started?
I got started in the roosters. I used to rodeo and stuff like that, and I got out of had a partner that I had a problem with when I was roping, and so I got out of the rodeoing, and I had some chickens on my place. I had 10 acres in California. I had some chickens and the coyotes were eating them, and so I thought, well, if I go get a game rooster, maybe he can protect the hens or do something like that, and then I seen how much the roosters are worth and stuff, but I bought one, and what happened, the hens squawked, he run over there and the coyote ate the rooster, but...
It didn't work then. Dice Danny dice Mike, que él empezó los gallos hace 20 años, que antes hacía rodeos, y ya no le gustó los rodeos, se fue a California, y que tenía gallinas normales, de ponedoras, y que los coyotes estaban comiendo las gallinas. Entonces agarró un gallo fino pensando que el gallo fino iba a proteger las gallinas, y no fue así. También se comió el coyote las gallinas. So after that,
and then I discovered that the UPS delivery man had fighting chickens, and so I went to his place and I got some hens from him and stuff, and then went to Arizona to the fights with them, and the rest of it's history. I started buying chickens and raising chickens and going, and we've been doing it ever since.
Que empezó a ir a los derbis, empezó a comprar gallinas y gallos. What families do you raise right now?
I raised too many.
Too many?
Too many, yeah.
¿Cuántas familias tiene ahorita? Y que muchas.
And I'm always trying to eliminate families, but then people give me something I don't want, and I try it, but my main families is I got the cow and roundheads. I got two families of Albanese, the straight combed and a peak comb family of Albanese.
Tiene los cow and roundheads, tiene dos familias de Albanese, unos con cresta derecha y uno con cresta de chicharro.
Clarets, white hackles, radios.
Claretes, white hackles, radios.
And calzos, I got yellow leg and white legged calzos.
De que los tiene pata amarilla y pata blanca también.
And then Manola Torres give me a trio of grays, Hitos, and a trio of Aseals that I don't have any experience with. I just started breeding them this year. So.
Don Manolo Torres le regaló un trío de Hitos y de Asiles. So out of all these lines you have, which is your favorite?
Cowans. My cow and roundheads.
Le pregunto que cuál es su favorita familia, dice que son cow and roundheads. Why?
The way they fight, they're very smart, and they're very good cutters, and they cross real good with everything else that I've got.
Le pregunté que por qué le gustan todos los cowboys, dice que son muy listos, cortan muy bien y cruzan con muchas familias bien. Are the game?
They're game. I've fought some of them that are gamer than any other chicken I've ever seen.
Le pregunté que si son muy huevudos o de casta, dice que ha sido uno de los gallos más huevudos que ha tenido en su vida.
I went to a gaff derby back in California, and I won three. I took 4 pure cowans just to try them. I won my first 3 fights, and I'm going for the money fight. And the rooster got coupled, so he on the first buckle and was off. And we fought probably 45 minutes to an hour, where he couldn't do anything. He couldn't, and the other rooster was cutting him all up.
Dice que fue un derby en California de gas, que es la arma americana. Ganó 3 gallos cowboys puros rápido, y que el cuarto lo paralizaron y duró 1 hora jugando. peleando. What, did he win?
No, he lost, but he impressed the people more than the 3 that won within a few seconds.
Dice que perdió el gallo, pero que impresionó más la gente ese que aguantó más de 1 hora peleando que los que habían ganado. So you cross them round hits on everything you have?
Yep. Now that's like this year in my brood pens, there was cowing and everything. There's some of them maybe only a quarter, but they're cowing, mostly cowing.
Dice que todos sus lotes tienen mitad cowering o un cuarto. Kind of like Junior Bell. Junior Bell crossed everything cowering also.
Yeah, well I got one of Junior's roosters and I crossed him on like 5 or 6 different hens, and every one of them won. I mean the babies were like, that rooster, I got like 90% winners out of that rooster.
So you got your cowards come from Junior?
The first one come from Junior through Richard Wilburn. I got him from Richard
Le
Wilburn.
pregunté que si es lo igual que es igual que a lo que hace Junior. Junior Bell, a todo le pone mitad cowering round head. Dice que era igual. Dice que el primer gallo que agarró lo agarró de Richard Wilburn, pero él lo agarró de Junior Bell. And you added more blood to it later on?
And now I've got blood from Junior. Junior's given me a couple roosters and some hens and stuff like that. So I've got some of Junior's directly from Junior now and stuff like that. But the first one was that way, and that rooster, everything I bred him to, they won. I mean, you know, just phenomenal rooster, and I still got his sons and stuff like that I'm breeding to.
Okay. Dice que le ha ido muy bien con los cowering round heads. How many roosters you raising right now in Ciudad Guzman, or near Ciudad Guzman?
Well, we've been there for, I guess it's about 4 years now, and we started with trying to build everything, pens, cockhouse, you know, and teepees, and so the first year we didn't raise any. Last year I only had like 30 roosters last year that I was trying to play with down here, and that's not very many in the short knife, you know. And then this
dice que el primer año era para arreglar el rancho, tiene 4 años aquí viviendo, que no sacó mucho hace 2 años porque no tenía tiempo, pero que nomás tenía 30 gallos. And then last year?
Now this year I had about 120 roosters that I'm playing with, and I got maybe 200 stags, and I'm trying to hatch about 1,500 babies and see how many survive.
Que ahora tiene como unos 200 pollos y 100 gallos y que va a criar 2,000 gallos este año. You sell roosters?
I sell mostly, right now I'm selling pure stuff. I mean, you know, trios and hens and stuff like that. This year I've only sold maybe 6 to 10 roosters, because if I sell somebody by something, I always want to sell them the best I have, because I want the customer.
Dice que no vende muchos tríos este año, vende casi puros tríos. No vende muchos porque él le gusta dar lo mejor a sus clientes. Entonces lo poco que tiene lo vende, pero tiene poco, pero vienen de buena calidad. That's good, because I mean, a lot of times you have people who just sell crossed and, you know.
No, I won't. Like if somebody wants to buy my battlecocks, I sell them. If they're paying the price, you know, if they want to try to do me down, you know, I got lesser chickens, I'll sell them, you know. But if they want to pay the price for the good chickens, I'm going to sell them. Let them have the best ones I've got. Okay. Which leaves me fighting the other ones, you know. So this year I said no, because I want to go out and I want to fight some of the big derbies.
Dice que este año no quiso vender gallos cruzados porque quiere jugar aquí en México este año. We're here actually at the Golden Rooster right now.
Yeah.
Estamos aquí en el derby de Golden aquí con los doctores Correjos. What do you think about the derby, the derbies that they run?
I love the derbies and all the things that they do. The only thing, of course, which all the gringos probably say is, I'd like to see them run faster. You know?
Que le gusta todo lo que como lo manejan, pero gustaría que fueran más rápido las peleas. Going back to the trios, how much do you sell a trio for or a hand for?
Well, the trios I'm getting like $1,200 or 9,000. Let's see, what is it? What's it figure up to? A rooster's like 9,000 pesos and a hen is 4,500. So.
Los gallos, los machos, 9,000 pesos sementales, 4,000 las gallinas. But I mean, the price is I think it's reasonable. But they know they're getting quality though. I mean,
That's all I sell.
Le digo que el precio para mí es razonable porque van a ganar calidad. People buy, you know, a trio for 4,000 pesos, 5,000 pesos, and they get what they buy, you know.
Yeah.
Que yo le digo que la gente compra tríos baratos y es lo que van a conseguir.
When I first started, I read an article or somebody told me that the cheapest thing you can buy is the best trio that you can find. If it costs you $10,000 or whatever, if you buy a good chickens, it's the cheapest thing because everything else is the same. The feed costs the same, the wire to build the pens.
Dice que lo más barato que puedes comprar es un trío bueno. Si te cuesta $10,000 no importa, pero que sea un trío bueno porque todo lo demás vale igual. La comida para darle hay de corrientes, hay de finos igual. Las mallas son igual, las jaulas son igual, todo vale igual. Good point. Good point. Mike, I did a couple of these interviews already before, and people always they ask me for you to give advice on either medication or how you feed the roosters.
Advice?
Yeah, I mean, can you give me some pointers? How many days do you put a rooster up?
Well,
¿cuántos días pone para poner un gallo?
When I was fighting in the gaff and everything, I figured like 21 days is what it takes me to.
21 días de edad cuida.
But I've got a guy now that's training my roosters for this one that came and spent the time, and he's been working with them for a couple months. So, but I was experimenting with the way Butch Williams, where he just spars his chickens and.
Dice que te hace un experimento como lo hace Butch, que más topa diario.
And the first I went 3 or 4 derbies the first of the year here, and I was fighting like at 70% with them, just taking them off the teepee, resting them a couple days, and.
Dice que con el sistema de Butch ahora como un 70%, nomás topando y descansándolos unos días.
So I mean, it's a lot harder. It's a lot easier on an old man doing it that way than it was because I used to work roosters real hard when flying them and stuff.
Dice que para su edad es más fácil así toparlos diarios y descansar unos días y jugarlos porque ya por su edad que antes los trabajaba mucho. You're using any kind of like equipoise, Kigan, Winstro?
I've used all that in the past, and now I've tried to get plumb away from it.
Me pregunté que si has usado Winstro, Kigan o equipoise, dice que antes sí lo usaba mucho, que ya no lo usa. How come?
Well, I like when you use any of that stuff, you probably use your rooster one time.
Dice que lo malo con esos sustancias que lo usas nomás una vez el gallo. How come it ruins him or?
Well, I don't think I used to use the Winstrol. I never liked equipoise because it would make the roosters harden up or whatever. I mean, it's hard to explain, but they get real hard. It'd be just like a piece of wood.
Que el equipoise lo ponía muy duro. They don't cut that way, right?
No, they didn't cut, but they were hard to kill, you know.
Que no cortaban, pero eran muy para matar. What about the Winstro?
Winstrol, I like Winstrol. It's water-based, and I never had any problems with the Winstrol. I don't know if they would have fought just as good without it or not. And then I used strychnine, and the strychnine I did real good with that. But there again, if I bring a rooster back like a month later or something, I don't think he was as sharp or something. I think it.
Dice que no lo gusta usar porque nomás lo puedes una vez, como que los ruina a los gallos ya para usar otra vez. What about maintenance, like vaccination, medicines?
We give a lot of vitamins, make sure they don't have no bugs, and
que le da mucha vitamina, que no tengan piojos o grupos.
Down here we have a lot of the little mites and stuff like that. I found out that the pour-on cattle warmer is I don't know what the name it is down here, but it's the pour-on stuff, and it's kind of red, the one I'm getting now, and you put a couple drops of that on their back, and it seems to take care of all the mites for probably a couple months.
Que para los grupos usa un líquido que se le pone atrás de la espalda, que es como un líquido, es para el ganado, para despertar ganado. Y se lo pone atrás de la espalda, un poquito de gotitas, pero no tiene el gallo.
And it should also kill the worms because that's what it's for cattle, is to worm them. So
but they put it inside. They put it on the skin of the cow, or
they put it on the back of the cow. And
que ese veneno es like formalin. Like frontline.
Like frontline for dogs and stuff like that.
Se le pone en la piel, también le quita los parásitos por dentro también.
And I found out that works real good for keeping the bugs off them, and we use a lot of vitamins and try to keep them healthy. We're real careful about when people visit, to make sure their feet are cleaned. And
dice que cuando llega gente a su rancho le limpia los zapatos con un desinfectante. People can come to your place to pick out broodstock.
I've let people come, yes.
Que si pueden ir a su rancho a escoger sementales o gallinas. Right now you have available trios?
I've got trios available, yes.
Que ahorita tiene trios ahorita. How much are your trios? Are your current roundhead trios same price?
No, the cow ones I get $1,000 a piece, so they're $3,000 for a trio.
Los cow roundheads valen $3,000 cada. So $1,000 a hen, $1,000 each hen, $1,000 rooster.
Yeah.
$1,000 cada gallo o gallina también, mismo precio. They're worth it though, right?
They're worth it to me. I mean, I was offered $10,000 for the first rooster that I got, the first cow, and I turned it down. So.
Que le ofrecieron una vez $10,000 por el primer gallo que le dio Junior King, right? Or Richard Williams, right?
I got the rooster from Richard, yeah.
Que le ofrecieron $10,000 por el gallo y no lo quiso vender. I guess you don't regret doing it, right?
I never regret it because I probably made $100,000 with the babies from that.
Dice que con los hijos de él hizo $100,000. You said you won 90% on his sons?
His sons won like good 90%.
Que sus hijos dieron un 90% de ganadores en ese trío.
We won at Sunset. We won the Kemper Marley Invitational.
You won at Sunset, right? Ganó en Sunset. Sunset was the toughest goddamn derby in the world. I mean, the toughest pit.
That's what they said, but I went back there. I went 5 times, I got in the money 3 times. So.
Que fue a Sunset 5 veces y de los 5 veces, 3 veces ganó el derby. That's tough.
That's tough. I mean, we were flying from California to Louisiana and did good. The first derby I went there, never been there, and Richard had loaned me his cockhouse. He had a nice cockhouse there, which helped a lot. Got there, we got in the prelim derby. I won 4 straight, and I lose my money fight. So.
Que peor que fue, ganó 4 peleas al hilo y perdió la quinta, pero voló desde California hasta Sunset, que estaba en Louisiana, Sunset. I remember going to Sunset, I mean, it'd be sunny one second and then it'd be raining the next second.
Yeah. And then the second day of that derby, I came back and I won 4 straight and won the money that day.
¿Y que the second day?
The second day.
Ese fue el primer día. El segundo día ganó 4 libras y ganó el dinero del día.
And then the last day, I won 2 and lost my 3rd one, and somebody went and won 8 straight, so I didn't get to fight anymore on that one. But I mean, that being there the first time and doing, fighting that good was awful good,
Dice que para él fue muy orgullosamente ir a Sunset y jugar y ganar ahí.
And I was fighting in the main derby. I was fighting all pure Albanese.
Que jugó puros Albanese. You still have the same blood?
Same blood. Last night, the last fight I won last night here in the Golden Rooster, I was fighting a pure Albany that when I fought Perel the last fight.
Dice que anoche jugó, la última pelea que jugó contra Pará, Chihuahua. You beat him in what, 30 seconds?
Something like that, yeah.
Le ganó a Pará, Chihuahua en 30 segundos. To beat Pará in 30 seconds, that's a...
So.
All right, Mike. Any advice you want to give to the beginners?
Just enjoy the sport and be honest in it and stuff like that.
Digo que si un consejo para los principiantes, digo que lo disfruten en el deporte, que sean honestos.
Yeah, that's one thing to me is, I love the roosters, so I go and my roosters mean more to me. I won't sell fights, I won't...
Dice que para él, sus gallos valen mucho para él, que él nunca vende una pelea. Can people get a phone number off that you can...
Yes, they can. I'll give them 2 phone numbers, okay? My phone number is that they can call me at.
Pueden hablar al número
909-991.
909 is American?
Yeah, that's American number, but they leave a voicemail and I'll call them back.
Es un número de Estados Unidos, es 909, bueno, se marca 001, 909-991-4830. Ahí le va otra vez. 001-909-4830. 991-48.
Number there.
Yeah. Y también es 341-117-6855.
That one is my wife's sister, and they call that at night because she works for us in the daytime and we don't have no phone service, Rico.
And that's a Mexican?
That's a Mexican number.
Es un número mexicano, pero que hablan, you want that to call in the night, evening?
That she's only home in the evening where there's
Ese
service.
lo tiene en la noche, ese número es el mexicano, el número es un celular o un radio, 341-117-6855.
And only serious calls, please, because
Que por favor nomás llamadas serias, que no, por favor no hablen nomás para preguntar de los gallos. I told them just, people who know they're going to buy.
yeah.
Yeah. Por favor, compañeros. Si tiene otra pregunta de él, mándenla a mi Facebook, a Jugarín, en el Facebook, y yo con todo gusto le pregunto a señor Mike. Mike, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.